Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Valerie Oakley, also known as Coach Val, and I am your health, wellness, empowerment, transformation coach. And this is your space for grounding, growing, and glowing in your personal wellness journey. So today we're going to talk about something that hits close to home for many of us these days, and that is overwhelm. So, specifically, how overwhelm shows up in the lives of multi productive people. You know, those who wear many hats and you're taking care of yourself and others, and you're doing a good job at it. You are the go getters, the go to people, the visionaries, the multitasking masters. And I want to talk to you about how overwhelm quietly sabotages your health, your energy, and your peace. So let's unpack that. So let's start with the obvious question. What exactly is overwhelm? Overwhelm is not just about being busy. It's when your mental, emotional, and sometimes your spiritual load, it just becomes too heavy to carry. And it's that might be that tightness in your chest. It might be that constant sense that something is slipping through the cracks. It might be like feeling like you're a hamster on a wheel that never seems to stop. It might feel like you're running in quicksand, or it just might sneak up on you. It's that never ending to do list, and it feels like it's controlling you instead of the other way around. And for those of us who naturally are high performers or multi productive, we're those who thrive on big visions, thrive on having multiple projects, thrive on supporting each other in different areas of our lives and staying in motion. Overwhelm can be very, very sneaky. It's like a train wreck that's waiting to happen, and you have no idea that there's a train heading towards you on the same track. So sometimes that might look like, oh, I'm just in a busy season, or once this launch, once this project, once this thing that I'm doing for others is done, then I'll rest. You know that when I then I kind of language. Or it's this is just what success feels like, or this is just the way it is. So if any of those sound familiar, you might be headed towards overwhelm, or you might be in overwhelm. But here's the thing, overwhelm is not a badge of honor, it's a warning sign, it's a red flag. And if it goes unchecked, it can take a serious toll. And let's talk about how that affects your health and your wellness. So that shows up as chronic stress. So when you're in a constant state of doing, the nervous system actually is affected. It's going to, uh, it doesn't get a chance to slow down and regulate. So you're in that fight or flight mode, and that becomes your new normal. And your body is keeping the score of that. There's a book with that title. Your cortisol levels rise, your sleep quality is dropping, and your body starts to feel tired, even though you're well rested. This might be the point at which maybe you're starting to feel like you want to visit the doctor, and maybe they started looking at your numbers and things like that. Or you might even be at the point where you're being prescribed medication to regulate things. That might be a sign of overwhelm. I am not a doctor. I'm just suggesting that that might be a point and an indication of overwhelm. Another thing that happens is burnout. Burnout is like the first cousin of overwhelm. So, mental fatigue, emotional numbness, physical exhaustion. It doesn't come from doing too much. What it does is comes from doing too much without restoration, without that harmony and balance. Your energy is just drained. You're depleted. And that's burnout, and that's a real thing. Another thing is could be that you're just disconnected from yourself. You begin to lose touch with what you actually want. You're doing so much that you're not sure where your goals end and your burnout begin or your overwhelm begins. You know, what's yours and what's not yours. And what part of that is what you feel like you should be doing. And usually, should, when we use that kind of language, it's not usually our own voice. And you got to question whose voice that is that's telling you that you should do a certain thing. Should is like something that we've learned, like we operate in a certain set of rules that we believe how the world should operate. So pay attention to whose voice that really is and how did you pick up those kind of rules and says who. Next would be poor habits that are starting to sneak in. Maybe your meals are getting skipped, or you find yourself stress snacking or emotional eating or canceling your workouts or staying up late to catch up, or you don't take time to do your self care. Or it could be the opposite. You take a lot of time to do self care kind of things or escape kind of things that are, and you leave the things to do piling up, maybe even the simple things that you need to do. And then that could cause you to be overwhelmed. So, some kind of cycle that you get yourself into. So, the very habits that keep you well begin to slip through the cracks. But here is the good news: you're not stuck, you're not broken, you're not wrong, and there's a better way. So let's talk about solutions. One, you want to bring awareness. Awareness is going to be your first medicine. I'm prescribing that. Before we can fix overwhelm, we need to recognize it. Start checking in with yourself daily. Where am I on the overwhelm scale today? You might even want to check in on yourself several times throughout the day. Just kind of pause and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I? You know, and is what I'm doing right now nourishing me or is it draining me? And you'd be amazed at how powerful just a few moments of asking yourself that question might be. So, number two, learn to prioritize your energy, not just your urgencies. So, everything is going to feel urgent when you're overwhelmed. Everything is an emergency, right? For you, for them, for that, you know. But what is essential for your well being today, right now? What lights you up? What can wait? Remember, just because it's important does not mean that it's urgent. Number three, build micro restorations. So you don't need to plan a lavish vacation or, you know, do something grand to recalibrate. You don't need a week-long retreat or, you know, things like that. You need 5 minutes to breathe, go on a short walk, get out in nature, get you some sunshine, do a digital detox, do some time frames where you do that. Take intentional pauses, build those into your day. Rest is not a reward, it's a part of your productivity strategy. It's necessary. So ask for support, multitaskers. Multi-productive people often resist support because they're so used to being the strong one. They're so used to being the one that people go to, the helper, the one who handles it all. But you deserve to be held too. Let people help. I cannot emphasize this enough. Because on the flip side, you can get caught up feeling like you're doing everything and exhausting yourself and nobody's doing anything. And you just start resenting, you know, what you're doing, or you start resenting the people that you're doing it for. And just don't do that. Don't get caught up in that cycle. Delegate, collaborate, or you can get a coach. And I know one. Wink, winks, right? So, number 5, reconnect with your why. Why are you doing it in the first place? When you remember why you got started on something or why you started doing something for somebody, what truly matters and what kind of life you are creating and the type of life you want to create, and how much are those in alignment? Not just what you want to achieve, not just what you want to check off for that badge. Um, Everything is going to get clearer when you just get recentered into what is most important, what is most aligned, and why you're doing it. Your choices become intentional again. So if you're nodding your head right now to any of this, if you're feeling seen, if you're ready to shift from that place of being constantly overwhelmed into a space of clarity and vitality and flow and flourishing, I would love, love, love to support you because I've been there. And what happened to me, you might have seen it on other videos. I thought I was doing the right thing for the right reasons, for the right people, and doing all the things. And my train wreck was losing everything before I got to a place where, okay, I need to rebuild my life. And what rebuilding my life looked like was focusing on me. Um, and that's sometimes a hard thing for multitaskers, feeling guilty for turning things onto themselves, but there is a way. So I invite you to schedule a free call with me. It's complimentary. It's called a Setup for Success call. And this is not just a pitch, it's a space. I'm going to create space for you, space to pause, a space to reflect, a space to be seen and understood, and to reconnect with what you need to truly, truly thrive and set you back on the track that doesn't have a train that's heading towards you. We're going to get clear on where you are, where you want to go, and what's been getting in the way. And then I'm going to share how I can support you if it's something that feels aligned. I have ways that I can support you. So the link to do that, to schedule your Setup for Success call, is in the description. So go ahead and click it, schedule your time, and let's get you out of that survival mode. And let's get into more intentional, more empowered, more fulfilling living. You do not have to do this alone. And all you have to do is just take that first step. So thank you for stopping by. I hope that this added value to you in some kind of way. And until next time, stay well, stay grounded, and stay open. Know that I am rooting for you. See you next time. Thank you.